What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. Today we're going to be talking about one of the number one things that I have people ask me about and talk with me about in terms of manifestation and why they feel this feeling inside of themselves. And that is these desires that have been placed on their hearts. Why they feel as though there's something that they're meant to achieve. Why it feels as though they were made for more. Why they were made for money. Why they were made for fame. Why they were made for something greater than what they have right now. And all of that coming back to these desires that have been placed on your heart and why they're there in the first place. So if you're listening to this podcast episode, I want you to ask yourself, have you ever felt that way? Like, have you ever felt like you were made for more, that you were made for money, you were made for fame, you were made for this dream that you have, this desire that's been placed on your heart, even though it may not make any sense whatsoever? Because if you feel that way, I want you to know that the desires that have been placed on your heart are not there by coincidence. They are there because you are the unique soul that incarnated into this human body to manifest it and to make it happen, make it your reality. Once again, like I said, even and especially when it doesn't make sense. And I want to speak on this because I know the world does a really good job of trying to convince us that our dreams are too big or that we are not capable of making them happen, that we're going to have to work our asses off until the day that we die in order to make it happen, and that there's a good chance that we'll never get our opportunity to make whatever this desire is a reality for us. And I know that feeling all too well. And so from my personal experience, ever since I was a little girl, I always felt like I was made for more. As a little girl, literally, my parents can testify this, like, I felt like I was royalty. I felt like I was famous. I felt like that's the life that I was made for. It was the thing that I craved the most, was being famous, being seen, being just like this bright light in the world. And growing up in my tiny little town in Colorado, it felt so confusing. But I still did everything I possibly could to be seen and be heard. And so I was always in theater productions. I was casted as the lead role multiple times in all of the different productions that I was doing. I was always in dance classes and wanting to be the center star of attention. And same in school, like always wanting to be in the different organizations where I could have a say and I could be seen and I could be a part of it, being the editor-in-chief for our yearbook, all of those different things. And ultimately, like, have always felt this light inside of me, this piece inside of me that said that I was made for more. I was made for money. I was made for fame. I was made for a life greater than the life that I had at that time. And as I got into my teenage years, my late teenage years, like 18, 19, starting to be in my 20s and early 20s, I was so confused by this feeling, especially because at that point there were so many societal pressures to go to college. And then when I ended up dropping out of college and was serving and bartending, I just felt as though I was completely doing a disservice to myself. I felt like my soul was honestly kind of dying, and it sounds dramatic, but that's like exactly how it felt. And I felt so disconnected from my truth and from what this light was trying to guide me towards, because still in all of those moments where I felt so low and I was so disconnected and I was trying to escape from my reality by drinking and partying and doing drugs and sleeping around and just like honestly fucking around so hard, there was still moments where this little light inside of me would continue to tell me like, Kat, you were made for more than what you have right now. You were made for money. You were made for the spotlight. You were made to be seen. And it confused the fuck out of me. And I truly just didn't understand how that could be a part of my reality, because I, at that point, had made myself the victim to my life. I knew that I was made for more, but didn't know how it was possible or what it would look like. So I made myself the victim to my life. And I constantly would tell myself like it wasn't in the cards for me. I wasn't meant for money. I wasn't meant for a life that I could be happy with or proud of. I was meant to struggle. I was meant to be the underdog. I was meant for all of these things, and just truly let my ego win and let this victim mentality win. And it sucked. Like, being completely honest, like, that shit sucked so hard. And I, in this time, manifested a life that I really didn't like, because I was so dead set on allowing my limitations get the best of me and creating all of these issues for myself by staying in this victim mentality. And if you've listened to the podcast, you may have heard the episode where I kind of had like I like to call it my come to Jesus moment, where I had woken up after a night of blacking out and felt so fucking shitty and was so upset with myself and where my life was at. And I felt this intense wave of light rush over me. And in that moment, I got up off the ground, I looked myself in the mirror, and I said out loud to my reflection, Kat, you have the power to change your life, so why the fuck haven't you yet? And that was the first time in my adult life that I had really started to honor and own this light and this sense of knowing inside of myself that I was made for more than what my life was. And when I finally gave myself permission to start to understand what my heart's desires were trying to lead me towards, what this feeling was inside of myself that I had always had but was trying to deny myself of for such a long time because it confused me so much. And that's what led me to this position of like being where I am now and who I am today, of like fully stepping into this position of like, fuck yeah, I was made for more. I was made for money. I was made for luxury. I was made for some level of fame. And that is something that I am actively manifesting, is like some sort of level of fame. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I know that like there's always been this part of me that's known that I'm meant for it, and allowing myself to honor that and own it as opposed to hide it or feel intimidated by it and run away from it and hide it, because ultimately our heart's desires are our gift to the world. Whatever it is that you have a desire to create or have the desire to be or do, that is your gift to the world. You are meant to step so fully into it and live out that reality in a way that only you can, because you are a light to the world in that way to shine and show that it is possible, and give permission to the world in a way that the world needs. And the way that I like to see this and think about this is like, a lot of the times, especially like in the online coaching space, I hear from new coaches being like, oh, it's oversaturated. Like, of course, nobody's gonna want to work with me, or whatever the story may be. And it's like, that's not fucking true, because your heart's desire led you to this position for a reason. And you have a unique perspective and voice and vision to share with the world that only you can give to certain people. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Lord, I know I am not everybody's cup of tea, but I know that my words, my vision, my perspective, the way that I present my light to the world is a gift to the people it resonates with. I'm a permission slip to the people who resonate with my energy and what I have to offer to the world. And it would be such a disservice if I wouldn't have given myself permission to change things in my life and fully step into this position where I am owning and honoring every single desire that my heart has, whether they make sense to me or not. And really stepping into this place of like surrendering to the fact that I don't have to control every single piece of the way I think it should look, or the way that would make the most sense. And really just saying it doesn't need to make sense. All that needs to happen is me continuing to show up for myself and honor these desires and the inspiration when it comes up. And by doing that, like I've said, it's like it's allowed me to manifest the life that I have now and continue to step even further into like the most fun and inspiring and exciting and beautiful and abundant life that my heart and my soul always on some level knew was possible, but it just took the like conditioned, jaded version of myself a while to come around to. And I think that like that's the reality for most people, is that society and all of these limiting beliefs and conditions and whatnot that have been put upon us bring us further away from what is there on our hearts, because it's easier to just follow the prescribed path and check all the boxes and do what the world says is best for you than it is to honor your truth and pursue it unconditionally. But I believe that if you're here listening to this podcast episode, you are ready to stop following the conditioned path, the prescribed path, the safe, the practical, the logical, the all of the things that we've been told we have to do. Or maybe you're already on this path of creating this life that is so in alignment with your heart center, and fully own and follow that path, because that is what is going to allow you to feel like the most happy, healthy, and fulfilled version of yourself, and is going to allow you to shine your light in the world in a way that the world needs. And so that is what I have for you on this podcast episode, is just like a knowing and an understanding and permission for all of you to recognize that your heart's desires are there for a reason. They're not there by mistake. Everything that you feel is there on purpose. And allow yourself to listen to that purpose and follow that purpose and tap into this place of truth inside of yourself, because it's not only the greatest gift that you could give to yourself, but also the world. So that's all I got for you today. I am sending you all of my love, and I'll chat with you on the next episode. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I am so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.